Good morning, year 6. Okay, our lesson for today is all about divisibility rules. We'll start with the divisibility rules of 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100. When will be, what number we will be is divisible by all these numbers? Okay, so at the end of this lesson, you should know how to determine whether the number is divisible by 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, or 100. And then later on, you can create also a number from the digit cards to make numbers that are divisible by 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100. Also, you can solve problems. Now, let's start with what is the meaning of divisible. Divisible means if a number can be divided by another number without calculation. What is the use of rules of divisibility also? Divisibility rules helps you to determine the number if it can be divided by the given number without calculation. Okay, so it's a quick calculation. Just remember the rules. Let's start with the rules of divisibility rules for by 2. Okay, remember this. A number is divisible by 2 if the number can be divided exactly by 2 and always it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Or meaning all numbers that are even numbers is divisible by 2. So, example, 32,460, it ends with 0, it's even number, so yes, it's divisible by 2 and it's also multiples of 2. 364,258, it ends with 8 and this is an even number and it ends with 8, so it is divisible by 2. And 1,812,300, it ends again with 0, so meaning it is an even number and it is divisible by 2. So keep it in your mind. Any even number is divisible by 2. Okay? Let's go to the next rule. Divisibility by 5. So, it's like, if you know how to skip count by 5, then all those numbers, multiples of 5 is divisible by 5. So, a number is divisible by 5 if the number can be divided exactly by 5 and it ends with 0 or 5. So, all numbers that ends with 0 or 5 is divisible by 5. All right? So, or meaning multiples of 5. You know your multiples of 5. So, 16,325, it ends with 5, therefore it's divisible by 5, and it is a multiple of 5. 364,250, it ends with 0, and it is a multiple of 5, so it is divisible by 5. 1,812,200, it ends with 0, therefore it is divisible by 5. Next one. So this is the very easy one. Divisibility by 10. So all numbers multiples of 10 or 100 or any number that ends with 0 is divisible by 10. Any number ends with 0 is divisible by 10. All these numbers, okay, they ends with 0, therefore they are divisible by 10. Next one, divisible by 25. What is divisibility by 25? A number is divisible by 25 if the number can be divided exactly by 25 and the last two digits, remember, the last two digits of its number must end with 25 or 50 or 00. Do you understand? A number is divisible by 25 if the number can be divided exactly by 25 and the last two digits is 25 or 50 or 00. So example, 16,325. So the last two digits, okay, this number ends with 25. The last two digit ends with 50. The last two digit is 00. So any number that ends with 25, the last two digits 25, the last two digit is 50, or last two digits 00, this is divisible by 25. Next one is divisibility by 50. What should be, how we are going to know? Okay, the next rule is divisibility by 50. A number is divisible by 50 if the number can be divided exactly by 50 and it ends with 50 or 00. Okay, example. So 24,350 ends with 50. Therefore, yes, it is divisible by 50. 421,700, it ends with 00. Therefore, it is divisible by 50. Okay. Again, 1,651,100, it ends with 00. Therefore, it is, yes, it is divisible by 50. Easy, isn't it? So, another example is 275. Is this a divisible by 50? No. Why? Because it doesn't end with 50. How about 1,050? Yes, because it ends with 50. Okay? Another one is 3,101. Is it divisible by 50? No, because the last two digit is not 00 or 50, but it ends with 01. So this is how you're going to know when the number is divisible by 50. Let's go to the next one. Divisibility by 100. What do you think will be? What are the numbers that is divisible by 100? Okay, a number is divisible by 100 if the number can be divided exactly by 100 and the last two digits is 00. Any number that ends with 00, then it is divisible by 100. Example, 16,300, it ends with 00. 364,700, it ends with 00. 1,812,200, it ends with 00. Okay, so don't forget all the rules. Let's recap all the rules, the divisibility rules of 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100. A number is divisible by 2 when the number is even or it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. A number is divisible by 5 is divisible by 5, it ends with 0 and 5. A number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0. A number is divisible by 25, it ends with 25. 50, 0, 0. And a number is divisible by 50 if it ends with 50 and 0, 0. And a number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0. Okay? So only what you do is remember, and you need to master the divisibility rules, and it will be easy for you. Now let's try this example. Let's apply the divisibility rules of 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100. Okay, let's check. Divisibility rules of 2. Remember, it should be even. Is this number an even number? Yes, because it ends with 0, so let's tick. Is it divisible by 5? Yes, because it ends with 0 or 5 and ends with 0, so yes. Divisible by 10, always a number ends with 0 and it ends with 0, so it is tick. Divisible by 25, so I will write it here, 25 must be 50 and 0, 0. Here only 0, here is 0 and 5, and here even number. You should know already the even numbers, correct? So even numbers 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so let's see. Is there up to 50? Yes. And this 0, 0, and 50. Okay, so it ends with 50, so it is yes. And divisible by 100 ends with 0, 0, and it ends with 0. No, so this is X. Let's move to the next example. Is it even? It ends with 5, so it's not. Is it divisible by 5? It ends with 5, yes. It doesn't end with 0, so X. It doesn't end with 25, 50, or 0, 0, so it is X. It doesn't end with 50 or 0, 0, so it is X, and this is also X. Now, this is even number. This ends with 0, this ends with 0, this ends with 0, 0, this ends with 0, 0, and this ends with 0, 0. Let's move to the last one. So 0, yes, yes, ends with 0, remember? Ends with 0, doesn't end with 0, 0, 25, and 50, so let's make X. And then it doesn't end with 50 and 0, 0, so X again, and it doesn't end with 0, 0, so it's X again. All right, do you understand? I hope you understand this lesson. Okay, let's move to the last question. Okay, I want you to do this first, then we will answer together. Okay. Is 72,561 divisible by 2? Why? Yes, it is false. Why it is false? Because the number ends with 1 and it is not even number. Let's move to the next. Is this number divisible by 5 and why? It is true because the number ends with 5 and it is a multiple of 5. Letter C. Is this number divisible by 2, 5, and 10? Why? It is yes, they are all both divisible by 2, 5, and 10 because the number is even number, the number ends with 0, and the number ends with 0 for divisible by 10, then yes, it is divisible by 2, 5, and 10. Last one. Is this number divisible by 2, 5, and 10? It is not divisible by 2, 5, and 10. It is true. Okay? Why it is? Because there is not. So it is true. Okay? Why it is true that it is not divisible by 2 and 5. This is a decimal number. Remember, if we have a decimal point, therefore the number after decimal is already a remainder. We need to have a number should be always a whole number and exact, equally divided by 2, 5, and 10. All right, do you understand? Very good. Okay, let's just solve this question. Can you do it by yourself first before I'm going to give you some of the answers? Pause your video and you can do it. Okay, we have cards here. We have 5, 2, 0, 1, 8. Fatima used these cards to make 4-digit even numbers that are divisible by both 5 and by 10. Okay, only even number. So we have, what are the possible numbers? So we have, these are all even numbers. Is 8,520 is an even number and it's divisible by 5 and 10. 8,500 is an even number and it is divisible by 5 and 10 because it ends with 0. 8,150 is an even number and 8,250 an even number. Were you able to make another number? We can have also 2, 1, 5, 8, 0. Correct? So another one, 12, 8, 50. So you can create a number from all these cards. Oh, it says 4-digit number only. So we can remove this one and we can have this one. So these are all possible numbers, okay? That is divisible by 5 and 10. You can create more, okay? And you can check your answers later. Okay, do you understand now, year 6? I hope you understand. Just watch this video, okay? And to study and memorize the divisibility rules of 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, or 100. All right? So these are all possible numbers. You can check the numbers that you have created and you can check. Okay, that's all for now, year 6. Thanks for listening. Bye.